Welcome to the real-time walkthrough and the tanking guide for Mythic Tirna Scithe, I think you pronounce this word, which is one of the dungeons returning into the War Within in Season 1 in Mythic and Mythic Plus, I believe, mode as well. This was a Mythic run, and in case you have missed out on the mists, no pun intended, I would like to teach you how to do it in the new season. Alright, so if somebody has played Shadowlands before, as you can see people running left through that little tunnel on the left, those people have clearly played Shadowlands and they clearly have some covenant. Don't worry about it if you don't know what it is, but if they have covenant that is associated with the Ardenweald, they are able to open certain gates and certain routes and certain things blocking your way, which is why we didn't have to kill that group front and center, and we went through that little tunnel, not pulling the big guy over there that is shackled, pulling this patrol and starting to tank over here in the corner. These Tirnan villagers, the tall ones, the shackled ones, they are going to be casting periodically this dreamy kind of little blue thing. The main thing for you as a tank is obviously to get as much aggro as possible, make sure that they are turned away from your group and are facing you, that's your basic tanking kind of information, and step out. Don't do what I just did, because you will be disoriented. Step out of that bluish beam. That's the only thing for you to know. Those Tirnan villagers, they are good guys, yeah, and one of them will be helping you with the first boss in a minute, but at the same time, that's one thing for you to be aware of. Don't stand in their beam, otherwise they will disorient you. You take sharp right, you pull these guys, you don't pull anything else, you pull these guys, and you are simply progressing ahead as fast as your DPS is allowing you to. They will be spawning those roots from underneath and the little black puddles, the ones that you don't need to stand in, obviously. So as a tank, I genuinely think turn them away and keep taking small steps back. Right now I'm standing in that black for a bit too long. I don't recommend this. So keep moving them a tiny bit, but be aware of who is behind you, because another group is right there behind you, you take them. While we're here, you can see those roots on the right. Those roots on the right now, they're kind of blocking another way. So yet again, if you have someone with Ardenweald Covenant from Shadowlands expansion in your group, they will be able to click on those roots, open them, and you see those greenish little mushrooms behind that thing. It's not make it or break it, but right now, while we are under-gearing content, and as you can see, they're hitting me pretty hard, my health sort of is dipping a little bit more than I would like it to be. So those mushrooms help. So as a tank, if they open these for you, you will walk in after this group is down, and you will eat the largest tough shroom or something it's called. Once everyone is ready, you pull these two guardians of the first boss, which took us longer than I would like to kill. It took us like, I don't know, 4 minutes, which I'm about to fast forward, and then you're on to the boss. Okay, maybe not 4 minutes, but it still was uncomfortably long. So first you're going to hit that Droman, the shackled Droman. Why are you hitting him? That's why I'm marking him as a skull. You're hitting him because as soon as his health drops below a certain level, he will be on your side, at least for a short period of time. And that will help you with Ingromalok, with the boss himself. So that is really the only trick here. You focus on Droman, you basically don't stand in the swirlies, otherwise they will disorient you or whatever it is they do and do damage to you. You try to bring him down in health, which our group is doing pretty decently right now. He will turn green at the moment, and he will disorient / stun the boss, while you can hammer the boss, and I think, I'm gonna speculate, I don't know, I haven't cross-checked, I think that he takes also extra damage in that particular moment in time. Now is the meat and potatoes of Tirna Scithe, Myths of Tirna Scithe. It is the labyrinth. The labyrinth can be made easier by installing one of those helpful add-ons. I don't have one, which is why I'm gonna simply tell you what is how it works, okay? You as a tank just focus on grabbing the groups, deal with the groups, that's all you do. There is nothing super crazy surprising for you there. Watch out for that swirly blue thing, especially when you get to the mini boss here, which will look like a dragon, but I think it can be something else. I think it can also be a toad, if I remember correctly. You can see those stumps. Those stumps those stumps, when you run close to them or somebody stands close to them, they will show you some kind of symbol above it. What you need to do is, or what you need to let an add-on to do for you, which is much easier, what you need to do is you need to look at all four, well, in order or at the same time, however you can coordinate with your group, and determine which one is the odd one out. Basically, which one does not look like one. I'll give you an example. For example, if 3 of them are some kind of version of a leaf, and the 4th one is the flower, then you need to go into the little shadowy cave, shadowy wall that is next to that flower. If your DPS is half decent, they are already running around and looking at those stumps, so by the time this group is down, you will already know where to go. And here we are on that mini boss that I mentioned to you. In this case it's a little dragon, but I think it can also be a toad. So that Mistveil Matriarch, other than being nothing special, she will summon that bluish thing, and she will be also harder to move because she changes the aggro, she turns to the others. Like I was not fast enough here straight away, admittedly, but you can be better than me, so pay attention. As soon as she starts casting this Pool of Radiance, it's called, Pool of Radiance, as soon as she casts it, you need to pull her much further away from that pool, otherwise she right now regenerates health. Now you're to the most annoying boss of this dungeon, the Mistcaller. I absolutely hate her voice, because she takes World of Warcraft from being already goofy to extra goofy. I absolutely freaking hate it. Now, what does she do? She does a lot of annoying stuff just in terms of attacking you here, and the fight goes through phases similar to the maze. In Mythic, again, she actually claps you pretty hard, as you just saw, my health drops. Then there are those arrows on the ground, which are pointing kinda a freezing ball that she's about to shoot out. In normal and in heroic it used to be only one arrow, but in Mythic, as you can see here, there are multiple arrows. So it actually, in the heat of the battle, and when you're getting quite a lot of damage, it's actually harder to dodge than you think. It looks easy, it's harder to dodge. And then she goes into this game mode where she summons copies of herself that also have, just like those stumps in the maze, they have exactly the same mechanic. You need to pick the odd one out, which in the middle of being stunned, in the middle of dodging, in the middle of this and that, you can see how our health is dipping. It's harder than you think, okay? So be prepared for this, and hopefully you're better than us. We did okay, but hopefully you're even better than us at identifying the odd one out. Once she's down, you jump off the waterfall down into this valley, and you start pulling these groups sparingly. Make sure that you're doing okay. Main thing to look out here for is a patrol of the wasps that will fly around in a minute. You need to pull them, make sure that they don't gazump your DPS that may be trailing a little bit behind and might be killed pretty quickly, especially the harder the difficulty gets. And also watch out for volatile acid. Volatile acid is something that explodes, and it will do a little knockback and a little bit of a throwback. As you can see, we're about to go across these little naturally formed bridges kind of stuff, and if you're standing close to the ledge, and if one of those volatile acid things explodes, guess what happens? You are off the ledge, and you have to retrace your steps and release and run back. Here's a patrol of the wasps coming. As a warrior, I always prefer to pull them before, so always be ahead. Try to be ahead try to plan what's about to happen as a tank, and that makes you good. Did you see that green swirly on the ground? That was the volatile acid about to explode. So good DPS, good tanks are gonna be out of that thing before you know it. As far as the pathing across these bridges are concerned, some people go right. I still am maintaining the conviction that I think it is easier and to go left, and it kind of is more straight. It's like a more straight path. Don't go that right way around. Just go that left hand side and just go across these groups. Keep pulling them until you reach the main cave and the main final boss. The main final boss is nothing super special. I wouldn't pretend to remember or having brushed up on every mechanic that she does. That's what the journal is there for you if you really want to look up what exactly this boss does. All you need to do is turn her away from the boss and expect that she is going to mark a couple of people with something that looks like chains kind of stuff. These people need to run away, furthest away from each other, to break those chains or to minimize the effect on each other while they stay close. At least that's my interpretation. I always welcome additions of more expert Mythic ++++++ runners even though I never do that kind of content, in the comments down below. She also goes into this kind of middle stage, I suppose, where she just is like, I don't know what's happening, she's kind of like spazzing out in the middle there, and she starts bombarding things with arcane looking like damage things. Well, lo and behold, and guess what? Don't stand in those things and you are going to be okay. Other than that, just run away from each other and try and grab attention of overzealous ads in case they are swarming on your healer or something like this. I still think that as long as you can navigate the maze the easiest possible way, as long as your DPS is already looking at those stumps and tries to plan a little bit ahead, you won't waste too much time here. Otherwise, I think it's fine. I don't love this dungeon, but neither do I hate it. I think it's okay. And if I was to do mythic runs again in the War Within Season 1, I probably would run this again. I would. Let me know in the comments down below if this was helpful and if you are going to be running Tirna Scithe. And I'll talk to you next time about some other boss or dungeon guide. Thank you for tuning in. Give me a quick like before you go. See you next time.
The collie slumbers, knowledge intact. Time.